What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Dad Needs to Talk. I'm your host, Robert, and today I am doing another game-focused talk discussing the new Nintendo Direct that just happened yesterday, as well as looking at the release calendar for the rest of the year. So, as always, if this is your first time here, then welcome. But if you're a returning listener and/or watcher, then welcome back. Y'all know here at Daddy's Talk, it's all about fatherhood and family, manga, anime, TV, movies, and video games. So I hope everybody out there is doing well. I've been busy myself, getting ready to head to Ohio this weekend for my son's basketball tournament, but I'll discuss that on a regular podcast episode in the future. So today, like I said, Nintendo finally showed up, and I believe they showed out. Uh, it's always funny after any of these streams and different things, whatever. Of course, fans and the internet's expectations are going to be through the roof or whatever, and there's going to be disappointments and stuff, whatever. But I felt like this was a great Nintendo Direct. Even if a lot of stuff in it wasn't necessarily speaking to me directly, I just understand as a fan of gaming in general and as somebody that has been around games for most of my 34 years of living, uh, the magnitude of this, because I think people fail to understand sometimes, and I'm gonna say this before we get into going through the different games or whatever I'm excited about, and that was shown and talked about. But I think a lot of people seem to not understand or see, like, directs like this show how Nintendo continues to, in some ways, silently dominate the gaming space. Because from the outside, I know somebody I follow had made a post about like y'all really enjoy that direct. All it was a handful of re-releases and some anime RPGs and some cartoonish games and yada yada yada. And it's like, yeah, that has been Nintendo's MO for years, because Nintendo, I feel like, has found the secret balance of things, and this direct was the perfect encapsulation of that, because they, for better or worse, love it or hate it, but Nintendo constantly either re-releasing stuff, whether it be just, hey, we're just porting it to the next system, or doing HD remasters, or doing full-on remakes of different series and stuff like that. They are, so on one side, they are capturing the nostalgia of people who experienced those games back in the day, but also keeping those different series relevant in the present day. By, it's like, yeah, somebody that is in their 30s, 40s, or older might be like, oh my god, they're bringing back, whatever game from the NES again. But as a parent who has kids, there's always a new generation, there's always new fans coming up that might be experiencing something that, yeah, you might have seen 30, 40 years ago, but this is new to your kids or my kids or somebody else or whatever. And so that's one section, them doing the re-releases and remasters and stuff. And then they'll do that, and then they'll turn around and then be like, oh yeah, boom, here's a new entry in a series that didn't leak, or you maybe heard rumblings about it or whatever, but didn't have a clue. And boom, here's a new entry, and it's coming out in a couple of months. That is how Nintendo continues to stack things up, on top of, like I'm gonna mention in a minute or whatever, they keep on doing the special edition, which they've always done, going back to the freaking Game Boy Color with all the different colors and iterations of that, and the Game Boy Advance and the DS and 3DS and so on and so forth. And it's like we get all these different special editions and stuff of this Switch and Switch Lite or whatever. And people are like, man, like how are they continuing to sell more Switches? This device is 7 years old. How do they continue to sell millions upon millions upon millions? Well, for one, like I said, there's always new people. So, like myself as a parent, technically I have one working Switch, but at one point in time we had three in the house because a couple of my kids had some. Um, but that's one way, and then sometimes you have older fans who might just have disposable income or just like, ooh, shiny new Switch. Because I know people that have multiple Switches. It's not for no kids or family members or whatever. It is nope. They saw a new cool model. Boom, they transfer their stuff over, and then the old one they put away or they give away to a friend or a nephew or cousin or something or whatever. So, but anyway, just want to say that up front about this direct. So, I got to start off with the thing that I was most excited for and that I think that caught the most people off guard. A new Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. And shout out to, I'm using Polygon, like I mentioned in my last game podcast episode. Like they always do a good recap of everything. But man, so when this first started, so the art style and stuff of it looks like the Link's Awakening remake that they did not that long ago or whatever. It looks like that. But then as the trailer went on, and sorry, I don't know why the video is buffering so much, but as the video went on, then eventually it's revealed that, oh, Link got captured and you're going to be playing as Princess Zelda. And so it was like, yo, that is super dope and super cool. And not only are you playing as Princess Zelda, but they also have this new mechanic where she has this rod and she can use it to basically clone things in the world, where there be different items like furniture to uh, different enemies and all this different stuff, whatever. And you use this both as a puzzle mechanic as well as a combat mechanic, to where if you got to traverse the world and it's like, okay, I need to get up to this higher elevation or whatever. It's like, oh yeah, let me make some copies of this table or this bed or these water blocks that she stacks up and then swims through or whatever. And it's just like watching the trailer, it is just like, yo, like the possibilities that start going through your mind of how this stuff might get used. Look, it's pretty cool. But like I said, like I'm very excited for it. Um, I always say I'm a medium Zelda fan. It is a series I've always enjoyed and admired whenever I've played them. Like, of course, like I loved A Link to the Past back in the day growing up, and uh, what was that one? Minish Cap was one of my favorite ones on the DS growing up. And so on and so forth or whatever. So I don't play all of them or whatever, but I always appreciate whenever I see a new one coming out. But yeah, like I said, this one looks super cool and different and might be one I might give a shot. So, and like I was alluding to earlier, whatever, nobody knew about this game, no rumors, no rumblings or whatever, and it's coming out freaking September 26th. So it is literally just a few months away, which is super dope. But yeah, that game looks fantastic, and of course a new Nintendo Switch Lite that they're going to be releasing with it. So yeah, so that is Zelda. Like I said, that was probably my number one thing I was most excited to see at this announcement and stuff. So, and what I'm looking forward to picking up and checking out. So, well, let's see if I can go through this list. So, Now I'm gonna go back and start from the top, whatever, and just kind of just run down a lot of this stuff, whatever. Like I said, some of the stuff I don't really care about personally, whatever. But for somebody out there that might be listening, might be something in here that might interest you. So we got Mario and Luigi Brothership coming out November 8th. The art style of that looks cool. Nintendo World Championship NES Edition coming July 18th. Fairy Tale 2, don't give no cares about. Fantasia Neo Dimension, have no clue. That's coming out this holiday. Nintendo Switch Sports coming soon. Who knows? Mio Memories in Orbit. This looks really cool. It's coming out sometime in 2025, and it kind of looks like the gameplay style of like Ori and the Will of the Wisp games, and also that Tales of Kenzara game that came out earlier this year. So, what else? Uh, some free DLC, free updates, whatever, coming for Disney Illusion Island. I still want to play this game because it really has that look and vibe of kind of like the Rayman Legends games that I mentioned before that I love playing so much that me and Vash still play to this day. But yeah, so new update for that. Hello Kitty Island Adventure coming, I think next year. Yeah, a Looney Tunes Wacky World of Sports game coming out sometime this fall. That like might just be silly fun. A new Among Us update, adding some new stuff. I don't know if my kids even still play Among Us. I haven't heard them talk about that in a while. Formagia, another RPG game coming out November 1st on the Switch. It's kind of funny seeing this and Fairy Tale 2 in the same direct because the creator of Fairy Tale, Hiro Mashima, he did the character designs for this Formagia game. Um, okay, let me see. Donkey Kong Country Returns coming out January 16th of next year. They revealed the Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake is coming out November 14th. Uh, the art style of like the posters and like the box art and stuff for these games looks freaking stunning. I've never really gotten too big into the Dragon Quest games. I think I might have played one back on the DS or something long time ago, but I really like this HD 2D system. But yeah, so that's coming out November 14th, and then remakes for Dragon Quest 1 and 2 are coming out sometime next year. Funko Fusion looked horrible. I'm not even going to give it a time of day. Luigi's Mansion 2 is coming out next week. HD is coming out next week. New Dempa Man, don't know what that is. Metal Slug Reloaded coming next week. Darkest Dungeon 2 coming out July 15th. Now, I've never played any of the Darkest Dungeon games, but especially looking at like the art style for 2 looks really cool. I know it's like some type of like roguelike RPG style game or whatever. Looks really interesting. I don't know. I might give it a shot at some point. Okay, so for Nintendo Switch Online, they're adding what is this? The Four Swords Adventure for Zelda, Metroid Zero Fusion, Turok, and Perfect Dark. Those are all already on the Nintendo Switch Online expansion level. Let me see. Phantom Brave. Don't know much about that. A lot of people were excited for this, so they announced it was 7 classic arcade games coming. It's the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection. Now, I've mentioned before, I am not the biggest fighting game person, so I am out of my depths here. But here are the list of games, just for those of y'all interested. Okay, the games are X-Men: Children of the Atom, Marvel Superheroes, Marvel vs. Capcom Clash of Superheroes, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 New Age of Heroes, Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, and The Punisher fighting game. Now, like I said, I am not a person that is deep into the knowledge of the history of fighting games, whatever. I've always appreciated them from far. Just never got too big into them, whatever. But this is pretty dope to see all these games coming forward. And these are also going to be coming to PlayStation and PC as well. No Xbox release, unfortunately. So yeah, so that is the games in that collection. They announced a new Super Mario Party Jamboree coming out October 17th. Let me see, that was Zelda, Just Dance, Don't Care, Lego Horizon. That was still very interesting to see. Like, we're really in this new era where these companies are starting to put, and it's happened before. Like obviously Minecraft, but I wouldn't really count that though. Hold on. Okay. But yeah, it's just interesting, like us being more in this world. Like I said, like there's already been some games going to different platforms, whatever. Like I said, Minecraft, yeah, but that was already multi-platform before Microsoft bought them or whatever. But I'll mention like uh, the Ori games that I mentioned earlier, Ori and the Blind Forest and Ori and the Will of the Wisp. Those are Microsoft properties. Those went over to the Nintendo Switch many years back, and now we got Lego Horizon, which is a PlayStation IP coming to the Switch and stuff, whatever. So it's just interesting seeing all this stuff kind of maneuvering around and seeing a PlayStation Productions logo thing on a Nintendo Direct was interesting. But yeah, so that was shown off, but still no release date on that, which is weird. They're still just saying holiday. Stray is coming. I enjoyed that game last year, a couple years ago, whenever that was. Some new Lord of the Rings Hobbit game. Have no clue. Ace Attorney Investigations Collection coming September 6th. Let me see. Do. A new game from the creator of Danganronpa called the 100 Line Last Defense Academy is coming out early in 2025. Um, Romancing Saga 2, Revenge of the Seven. I think it's a remake of an older game, or it's something in relation to like a very very old game, but that's coming out October 14th. And then the show closer was Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Now the subtitle coming out sometime in 2025. So I know a lot of people were super happy and super excited for that. I wouldn't be surprised, and a lot of people are kind of speculating that at this point, if that game is coming out next year, or whatever, it's probably going to be a cross-platform release with the next new Nintendo system and stuff. So, but yeah, so that was it in a nutshell. This Nintendo Direct, like I said, it was overall really solid. Like I said, we got, they announced a new Zelda game, a new Mario and Luigi game, a new Mario Party game, a couple of new things like that, Memories in Orbit game and stuff that are that weren't previously known, at least not to my knowledge. And then, like I said, bringing back some classic stuff, whatever, and doing updates to stuff, like a free update to Disney Illusion Island and Among Us and stuff, whatever. But then bringing back Dragon Quest and Donkey Kong and Luigi's Mansion and all the Nintendo Switch Online stuff, whatever, and the Marvel vs. Capcom collection thing, whatever. So, like I said, I feel like no matter what type of gamer you are, for the most part, there is at least one thing that spoke to you, whatever. So, so that is it for the Nintendo Direct. Uh, it's gonna be very interesting because I feel like a lot of people are like, man, like how are they gonna stretch this out or whatever the last bit of the Switch's life, and it's like, well, boom, here you go. They've stretched it out further, or whatever. But kind of looking ahead, so sticking with Nintendo specifically right now, more than likely the next Switch will get announced early part of next year. Um, or it's supposed to happen sometime before the end of the fiscal year. So by the time April 2025, we will know officially revealed and stuff the new Nintendo system. And so with the way things are kind of lined up right now, so like I said, we got Metroid Prime 4, but we also have a new Pokemon that is scheduled for next year. That Z to A or whatever it's called. Um, like Nintendo is pretty set up pretty well to kick off their next run of stuff, because I think honestly I think between I could see them doing maybe the Metro Prime 4 and Pokemon together on the next Nintendo system, whatever. And heck, Pokemon alone, especially if they make that Pokemon game only on the new system, then yeah, it is going to push systems or whatever. So, but yeah, but it's gonna be interesting to see where things go next year for them and stuff. So, but like I said, they've laid out the runway for the rest of the year. And so between the Nintendo Direct yesterday and then the recent Xbox Showcase, Ubisoft, etc., 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 I was kind of laughing that like a month or so ago, whatever, some podcasts I listen to, especially like the ones with people that have been professionally covering games for over 15 plus years at this point or whatever, being like, man, the back half of the year is looking so dry and da 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 da, and it's like, duh, this is nothing new. Let's wait until we get through all the summer announcements that happen in June for the last 20 plus years, and the calendar will fill in. And guess what? The calendar filled in with some stuff still not even having concrete dates and stuff yet or whatever. So, since we're in June, I'm going to start in July and just kind of go through a couple of like standout things or whatever for me. Well, even if it's not a game that I'm specifically interested in, just some stuff I want to shout out. So going through, kicking off July, uh, got a new Final Fantasy 14 Dawn Trail expansion coming out, and same day on July 2nd as that is the first Descendant, which is a third person kind of like a action looter shooter type of series or whatever, free to play, that I played a beta for, I think it was last year sometime, whatever, and I had fun with it. So I'm looking forward to checking that out in a couple of weeks. Legend of Heroes Trails Through Daybreak. I know that series is like a pretty long storied RPG franchise. So that's coming out July 5th. Let me see. Aerial Knights We Never Yield. That's coming out July 16th. Vash loved that first game, and I enjoyed it too. So be looking forward to playing that one sometime soon. Nobody Wants to Die. That's one I mentioned last week's episode. That looks very interesting with the kind of like time-stopping detective stuff, whatever. So we'll see. Flintlock Siege of Dawn is coming out July 18th. That's kind of like a like an action soulsy type of game, whatever, and it's gonna be on Game Pass. So I might download it, give it a shot. A big one coming out next month is the return after over a decade. EA Sports College Football 25 is coming out July 19th. I don't play sports games, but like I said, that is one of those games that I know culturally is so important to a lot of people. So I expect that to be a huge release. Another personal one next month I'm looking forward to is called Arranger, a puzzle, role puzzling adventure. That's one that's been on my radar for a while. That's coming out July 25th. I'm excited for that. So nothing else too much in July. Yeah, nothing like super big I want to call out. Okay, so moving on to August. So there's an interesting little game called Thank Goodness You're Here. It's kind of like a comedy style game coming out August 1st that I kind of got my eyes on. Maybe want to try at some point. And Madden is always in August. I don't really care about that. Black Myth Wukong coming out August 20th. That game has been eyeballs been on that game for I think it's been about 4 years or so. I think around like 2020 is when it was first revealed. So that's finally coming out. That's more like a action type of series. That's only going to be on PS5 and PC. So I'm be interested to see how that does. Let me see. Concord, the multiplayer game coming to PS5 and PC on August 25th. Uh, I don't really do too much like multiplayer type of games, or whatever. But if I could get my hands on the beta, I would like to at least maybe give it a test run, at least just run around and see whatever. So, but I don't know. But that's a big one coming. Um, World of Warcraft new expansion, The War Within, coming out August 26th. What else? Vengeance of Mana, August 29th. Squirrel with a Gun, coming out on PC. Um, and the big one, so the big one for me in August is Star Wars Outlaws coming out August 30th. Um, that's one, like I mentioned last week. I told my wife, I was like, man, I was like, if we survive this summer gauntlet we got with the kids, then that uh, that is going to be my back to school gift. Because man, if we get through all this traveling and just life as parents with kids and stuff, man, we survive this summer and get them in school or whatever. I might just take a day or two off at the end of August and just put my headphones on and get lost in playing Star Wars Outlaws, because that game looks super fun and super dope. So, but we'll see. And also, as always, shout out to Game Informer. I'm using their um, calendar page. Like they do a really good job of just having just a constantly updated calendar of releases and stuff. So, oh, one more thing I wanted to shout out. Even though I've never played the games, but I know a lot of people like them. Is Steam World Heist 2. It's coming out August 8th. So, shout out to them and fans of that series. I still want, maybe I might try to at some point. All right, so we're in September. So, looking down this list, let's see, Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl, is coming out September 5th on Xbox and PC. I know it's going to be on Game Pass, so I might download that and check it out. And I know it's going to be coming out on PS5 a little bit later in the year. I think that's like just like a few months of exclusivity that they have. First big one for me in September is Astrobot, coming out September 6th. So I'm looking forward to getting that. Vash happened to see the trailer because so in Astro's Playroom on PS5, they did an update after this reveal where they added a new secret area and stuff, whatever, and new collectibles and stuff to get or whatever. And so that led to showing the trailer, and he saw the trailer for Astrobot because I was planning on not showing him anything of it until the game was here or whatever. But he was like, "Ooh!" Like his 6-year-old mind was just blown seeing this game. So we're very much looking forward to that game. What else? Looking down this list, what is Wild Bastards? Let me see if this is something. It wasn't nothing too much. God of War Ragnarok coming to PC September 19th. There's a Harry Potter Quidditch Champions game coming out September 23rd. Don't know. They're doing a Lollipop Chainsaw remake or remaster or something, whatever, September 25th. That game was funny back in the day. The newly announced Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, September 26th. So I don't know. For me, it might September might be Astrobot, and then maybe Zelda, maybe. Um, all right. So moving on to August or October. So October, at a glance, doesn't look as packed, but it has some heavy hitters in here. So that Silent Hill 2 remake coming out October 8th, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero October 11th, same day as Metaphor Refantasio. Now, for people who might not know what that game is, Metaphor Refantasio is the new game from people who worked on the Persona series. So keep that in mind. If you're a fan of the Persona RPGs, check that out. Um, Let me see. Super Mario Party Jamboree, October 17th. The Juggernaut, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, October 25th. Sonic X Shadow Generations, October 25th. And then for me, my game of October, Life is Strange Double Exposure, coming out on my lovely sister's birthday, October 29th. So that's going to be my personal pick for October. But I know, like, it's just so much stuff that month or whatever, man. Like I said, between Life is Strange coming back, new Black Ops, new game from the Persona people, and freaking Dragon Ball, uh, which Sparking Zero is basically the Budokai Tenkaichi series basically coming back. So yeah, so a lot of stuff in October. Same thing with November. So November looks light, but some heavy hitters. That Mario and Luigi Brothership I just talked about earlier, November 8th. This weird kind of like horror style game, Slitterhead, November 8th also. That Dragon Quest 3 remake, November 14th. My personal one for November is Assassin's Creed Shadows, coming out November 15th. And Flight Simulator. So, that is it for stuff that has confirmed dates. And I don't know why I'm stuttering. Okay, so there is a gigantic list of games that are still allegedly coming out later this year that I'm gonna kind of just like glance at. But I'm only gonna pick out the ones that I feel for sure or for sure trying to aim out to come this year or whatever. So let's go through this list. Okay, so going down this list alphabetically, Avowed is listed here. I think that had maybe like a potential like leaked date of November something or whatever, but Microsoft continues to be adamant that that's coming out this year. So Avowed is one. That but Beyond Good and Evil 20th anniversary keeps on rumors swirling about that one. Let me see. Going down the list. Oh, Dragon Age The Veilguard is another big one that still doesn't have a date yet. Which I feel like that's kind of like an interesting pickle some of these teams are in right now, because especially with Dragon Age and Avowed, them both of them being decent sized RPGs, I bet they're trying to figure out like crap, who's gonna pull the trigger on a date first or whatever, and are we gonna be far enough away from each other? Because the other big RPG also looming as well with the date is the bro, why can't I think of the freaking game name? Starfield Shattered Space expansion, which nobody too big really watches this, but shout out to Mr. Matty Plays. He did an interview with Todd Howard over the weekend, which shout out Father's Day. I ain't even mentioned that part because this isn't a regular podcast episode. But yeah, so go check out that interview. It was super dope because they talked about Starfield and Elder Scrolls and Fallout and all that stuff, whatever. So, but yeah, so we have three big RPGs looming in the distance between, like I said, the Starfield Shattered Space expansion, Dragon Age, and Avowed. Now, maybe if they can do September, October, November, maybe about a month apart, but even still, that's some crowded space. So, aside from them, Indiana Jones and The Great Circle is still supposed to be coming out. I think they originally said maybe like December, which would be weird. I don't know, a lot of people were like, man, just kick that to like beginning of next year, start the 2025 off strong with that. But we'll see. Lego Horizon Adventures, mentioned that as well. Still doesn't have a date. Speaking of Life is Strange, freaking Lost Records, Bloom and Rage. That's so. The funny thing is that Lost Records, which is done by the original Life is Strange team, Don't Nod, got announced the end of last year, but they never put a date on it. They just said coming out fall/holiday 2024. Well, in the year that we've been waiting for a date and stuff, whatever, Life is Strange comes back and is like, boom, Life is Strange is back. You play as the Max from the first game, and it's coming out October. And it's like, dang, they lapped y'all. But yeah, so that's another big one. I'm interested if that's going to still come out this year or if that's going to get pushed. Let me see what else. Replaced is still saying this year. Don't know about that one. There's a Rugrats Adventures in Gameland game. Did not know about that. So my son, he has been loving these freaking SpongeBob games that have been released on shout out to PlayStation Plus because I'm not having to spend, you know, probably too high priced money on the SpongeBob games, but shout out to them for having that on there as part of the subscription or whatever because he's been loving it. Freaking open world SpongeBob game as a 6-year-old, yeah. Yeah, I'm looking. So I'm down in the S's. I don't really see much else. That the Plucky Squire. That is one I am for sure excited for. That's the one where you're kind of like you're playing as this character, and you can kind of like go into objects and stuff, whatever, like, and then play like on like a 2D surface, like a book or something else, whatever, and then you can jump out of the objects and then run around the actual world in 3D. So the Plucky Squire is one that I'm highly anticipating playing. I hope that kind of comes out like in like a quiet pocket somewhere. Wolf Among Us 2 still slated for this year. I doubt that's probably gonna get pushed to next year. Yeah, that is pretty much it for the rest of the year. Yeah, yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, so like I said, the calendar got filled in very quickly. Very, very quickly. But like I said, I feel like for the most part, each month for the rest of the year, there is probably at least going to be something, whether you're into RPGs or smaller indie titles or Souls like or action type of games or whatever the case may be, or whatever. There is something out there for everybody. So it's just, don't know if I'm going to have enough time to play everything I want to play. But like I said, that's why I'm kind of like, okay, like First Descendant, that's going to be free to play, so that's no money out of my pocket. A Ranger, that's probably going to be like $20 or so. And then it's probably Star Wars Outlaws and Assassin's Creed Shadows. It's probably going to be my two biggest purchases for the rest of the year. And then Astro Bot probably be right behind them, but everything else is probably like either like I said, like free to play stuff or or cheaper price games, whatever. So, but yeah, I'm very much excited. So, but I think I'm gonna wrap things up there. So, cause like I said, I gotta get things situated, get this uploaded or whatever for y'all. Cause like I said, I'm gonna be heading on a road trip for the next handful of days and stuff. So I wanted to get this done. And shout out to the homie Gooch. Hopefully you caught this one. And he texted me the other day being like, bro, Rob, like where's the podcast? All these trailers and stuff, whatever. And you ain't been doing a podcast. And I'm like, bro, I just did one last week. But you know, we all know how the algorithm be messing up and stuff, whatever nowadays. So and it's like channels drip that you're subscribed to, whatever, or people that you follow. You see more junk from people you don't follow or channels you don't subscribe to or whatever than the stuff that you actually, hey, no, I want to see this, whatever. But it is what it is. Shout out to my boy Gooch, and his dope family. And as I close here, even though this isn't a regular episode still, shout out and happy Father's Day. I hope all the dads out there had an awesome Father's Day. Hopefully y'all saw maybe some dope games lately that y'all want to treat yourselves to, or maybe want to get as gifts, holiday stocking stuff or something, whatever. But yeah, I'm excited. Plenty of games coming, and I'm gonna wrap things up here. So thanks as always for watching and or listening. You can find me everywhere at Dad Needs to Talk. And dang, I ain't got my switch on me. But as always, treat yourself to something nice. Read some manga, watch some anime, TV shows, and movies. Play some video games. Play some video games, and live your best life. And with that, I am out. Y'all be easy. Have an awesome rest of your day or week, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.